Hiber-Nation 41. Grizzly's Growls presents Stories from the Hiber-Nation. Monarch, the Big Bear of Tallac, by Ernest Thompson Seton, as read by David Grizzly Smith. Part 13. The Deepening Channel. April was bidding high Sierra snows go back to Mother Sea. The California wood whales screamed in clamorous joy. They thought it was about a few acorns left in storage in the live oak bark, but it really was joy of being alive. This outcry was to them what music is to the thrush, what joy bells are to us, a great noise to tell how glad they were. The deer were bounding, grouse were booming, rills were rushing, all the things were full of noisy gladness. Killian and Bon Ammy were back in the grizzly quest. Tom, he was out again, and good trailing to get him, with lots of snow in the hollows. They'd come prepared for a long hunt. Honey for bait, great steel traps with crocodilian jaws and guns there were in the outfit. The pen trap, the better for the aging, was repaired and rebaited. Several black bears were taken. But Gringo, if about, had learned to shun it. He was about, the men soon learned that. His winter sleep was over. They found the peg print in the snow, but with it, or just ahead, was another, the tracks of a smaller bear. See that? And Killian pointed to the smaller mark. This is mating time. This is Gringo's honeymoon. He followed the trail for a while, not expecting to find them, but simply to know their movements. He followed several times, and for miles, and the trail told him many things. Here was the track of a third bear joining. Here were the marks of a combat. An arrival driven away was written there, and then the pair went on. Down from the rugged hills it took him once to where a love feast had been set by the bigger bear. For the carcass of a steer lay half devoured, and the telltale ground said much of the struggle that foreran the feast. As though to show his power, the bear had seized the steer by the nose and held him for a while. So said the trampled earth for rods, struggling and bellowing, no doubt, music for my lady's ears, till Gringo judged it time to strike him down with paws of steel. Once only the hunters saw the pair. A momentary glimpse of a bear so huge they half believed Tampico's tail, and a bear of lesser size and fur that rolled and rippled in the sun with brown and silver lights. Oh, ain't that just the beautifulest thing that ever walked? And both the hunters gazed as she strode from the view in the chaparral. It was only a neck of the thicket. They both must reappear in a minute on the other side, and the men prepared to fire, but for some incomprehensible reason the two did not appear again. They never quit the cover, and had wandered far away before the hunters knew it. Were seen of them no more. But Faco Tampico saw them. He was visiting his brother with the sheep and hunting in the foothills to the eastward in hopes of getting a deer. His small black eyes fell on a pair of bears, still love-bound, roaming in the woods. They were far below him. He was safe, and he sent a ball that laid the she-bear low. Her back was broken. She fell with a cry of pain and vainly tried to rise. Then Gringo rushed around, sniffed the wind for the foe, and Faco fired again. The sound of the smoke puff told Gringo where the man lay hid. He raged up the cliff, but Faco climbed a tree, and Gringo went back to his mate. Faco fired again. Gringo made still another effort to reach him, but he could not find him now, so returned to his silver brown. Whether it was chance or choice can never be known, but Faco fired once more. Gringo Jack was between, and the ball struck him. He was the last in Faco's pouch, and the grizzly, charging as before, found not a trace of his foe. He was gone, had swung across a place no bear could cross, and soon was a mile away. The big bear limped back to his mate, but she no longer responded to his touch. He watched about for a time, but no one came. The silvery hide was never touched by man, and when the semblance of his mate was gone, Gringo quit the place. The world was full of hunters and traps and guns. He turned toward the lower hills where the sheep grazed, where once he'd raided Pedro's flocks, limping along, for now he had another flesh wound. He found the scent of the foe that killed his silver brown, and would have followed, but it ceased at a place where a horse track joined. Yet he found it again that night, mixed with sheep smell so familiar once. He followed this, sore and savage. It led him to a settler's flimsy shack, the house of Tampico's parents, and as the big bear reached it, 2 human beings scrambled out the rear door. "My husband," shrieked the woman, "pray, let us pray to the saints for help." "Where is my pistol?" cried the husband. "Trust in the saints," said the frightened woman. "Yes, if I had a cannon, or if this was a cat's, but with only a pepper-box pistol to meet a bear mountain, it is better to trust to a tree." And old Tampico scrambled up a pine. The grizzly looked into the shack, and then passed to the pig pen, killed the largest there, for this was a new kind of meat, and carrying it off, made his evening meal. He came again and again to that pig pen. He found his food there till his wound was healed. Once he met with a spring gun, but it was set too high. 6 feet up, the sheepfolk judged, would be just about right for such a bear. The charge went over his head, so he passed unharmed, a clear proof that he was a devil. He was learning this. The human smell in any form is a smell of danger. He quit the little valley of the shack, wandering downward toward the plains. He passed a house one night, and walking up he discovered a hollow thing with a delicious smell. It was a 10-gallon keg that had been used for sugar, some of which was still in the bottom, and thrusting in his huge head, the keg rim, bristling with nails, stuck to him. He raged about, clawing at it wildly and roaring in it until a charge of shot from the upper windows stirred him to such effort the keg was smashed to bits and his blinders removed. Thus the idea was slowly borne in on him. Going near a man-den is sure to bring trouble. Therefore he sought his prey in the woods or on the plains. He one day found the man scent that enraged him the day he lost his silver brown. He took the trail, and passing in silence incredible for such a bulk, he threaded chaparral and manzanita on and down through the tule beds till the level plain was reached. The scent led on, was fresher now. Far out were white specks, moving things. They meant nothing to Gringo, for he'd never smelt wild geese, scarcely seen them, but the trail he was hunting went on. He swiftly followed till the tule ahead rustled gently, and the scent was body scent. A ponderous rush, a single blow, and the goose hunt was ended, ere well begun, and Paco's sheep became the brothers' heritage. Thank you for listening to Stories from the Hiber-Nation. Comment on the website at grizzliesgrowls.com. This program is offered under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives license.